Live right now? All right. Okay, let me go ahead and get everything set up. All right. Hello, everyone. This is a humongous VCR update. Comment if you are here. All right, great to see. Okay, so I created this live stream because I want to tell you all an update about the VCR situation. So the VCR situation is this. Do you remember that post I created saying that unfortunately I cannot use my Panasonic VP free? Basically, this VCR. I couldn't use that VCR because, of course, the linear audio, a track, whenever I play a pre-served VHS tape, let's say a Disney tape, it tends to be more quieter than usual. It gets a little bit more distorted, as can hear from the Bear's Knife VHS tape, and of course the Apparent Trap 2 Greek VHS tape, and the One Little Indian Australian VHS tape, as well as, of course, the Atlantis pre-served VHS tape of Platypus Cove. So in this case, it's now fixed. Yep, it's finally fixed. It turns out the reason why it wouldn't work was actually because I've been doing this method wrong. You're not supposed to use the paper, but sure, the paper is actually a bit more easier because when you use the paper, it's a bit more safer. Yes, you can say that. But however, when I was trying to get rid of dirt, it's not getting more dirt than usual. So that's why that audio is sadly more quiet. But thanks to my father, he decided to use the tissues method. You know, these tissues. And these tissues, well, they pretty much are great, in which basically I capture the dirt far more than usual, which is awesome. So I pretty much cleaned my father the dirt with the tissues, and it cleaned audio track heads of both sides, and it's fixed. It's finally fixed. So I tested out using a couple of pre-cert tapes from Disney, of course, The Bear's Nye, along with Hans Brinker, The Silver Skates, UK VHS tapes, and they are playing as normal, as it intended to be. I checked the decibels, and normally it's supposed to be around 7 to 8 decibels in terms of volume. And it's at that level, which means it was a success. So yeah, now it's finally fixed. So now I can finally get back to work in digitizing more pre-served VHS tapes, along with this tape right here. I told before I was not going to forget about it. This is the 1982, 1983 UK trailer tape. I told before it's going to be my 2,500 subscriber special. But due to me actually getting more subscribers than initially anticipated, I said, you know what? Instead of 2,500 subscribers, let's make it to 3,000 plus subscriber special. So this will be my 3,000 plus subscriber special. I know every one of you is anticipating this for quite a while. This will come, absolutely. I'm very grateful it's finally fixed. But that's not all. That is not all. Because, do you see those free VHS players? Well, before that VHS player was fixed, my dad, he found a seller, and he contacted him saying, "Hey, we have all these VHS players in his house. Let me show you all the VHS players that he has and test them out for you so you can purchase them." All right. So in this case, there is a couple of Panasonic VHS players, and these free, of course, obviously. But in this case, there are some VHS players, sadly, that do not contain timers. That's very important. If it does not contain a timer, then what is the point of buying a VHS player then? It's completely useless because how will I know if I'm at the VHS closing part? Doesn't make a ton of sense, so I decided to ignore it. So in this case, I now got all of these free VHS players right here. These are now the new VCRs, just in case if the Panasonic VB33 suddenly, let's say, breaks down again. So I'm very grateful I finally have backups, just in case. Hello, Korea Fan 2008. I'm doing very good. Thank you so much. So yes, this is the model, a Panasonic NV HV61. And I tested out these VCRs, and unfortunately, the video quality is sadly a bit worse compared to the NV That's why I said this will be a backup VHS player. If you want, I'm gonna pretty much record some VHS tapes in these VHS players, just to show you the quality if it's fine for you or whatever. Okay, just in case. All right. So that is basically the VCR update. Now we're going to move on to the VHS collection. Yep. You see it right in the title. I said in the title, I was actually going to take I was actually going to go over my April VHS collection right here. As you can see, there's a lot in that actually arrived in April. And actually, I believe I received some more notifications that some more VHS tapes are going to come in the later days of April. Who knows? But anyways, these are all the tapes. Now, before I continue with this, do you have any questions? I'll be happy to answer them, if possible. Do you have any questions for me before I continue with the April VHS update? Don't be shy. Ask away. And I know there's obviously dead silence because you're probably gonna be watching this, obviously not live, but you're probably gonna be watching this as a video on its own. But keep in mind, this is a live stream, and I want everyone to interact and engage with me because while I'm focusing on my VHS collection, I also want you to interact with me so I can pretty much answer questions regarding on the VHS tapes I have or my channel and so on. Okay. All right. No questions. All right. Let's start with The Adventures of Huck Finn. It's an Australian VHS tape from Walters and Video. Now, unfortunately, this tape, the VHS Collection, sadly, there is tracking issues on this tape. So I may not digitize this, but who knows? Maybe I might, but that is pretty much a low percentage. Next up is Josh and Sam from Roadshow Entertainment. It was released in 1994. Now, initially, the reason why I wanted to buy this tape back in last year was pretty much because I thought this tape was going to contain the Spies Disney TV movie trailer. But after pretty much being in that Roadshow game and watching so many Roadshow Midnight Nights VHS openings, I realized it's pretty much not the case. The last TV movie from Disney that aired before they no longer show any more Disney TV movie trailers from the Australian VHS openings was Bejeweled in February 1992. And after that, it pretty much they never showed any more Disney movie trailers ever again. TV movie trailers I'm talking about. As Disney movies, perfectly fine. But in terms of TV movies, yeah. So in this case, this was released in 1994, and I thought it was going to contain The Spies. That's why I bought this tape in the first place. But it didn't, unfortunately. But don't worry, I'm going to record this, obviously, soon. Next up is The Cure from Roadshow Entertainment. This was released in late 1996. See that Universal logo? Yeah, it's very small, but this is a Universal Pictures movie. So I assume it's released in October 1996 because according to this one, that basically meant that it was released October 96. How do I know this? Well, it's because this slogan, power to people at home, well, it no longer shows it after November 1996. Okay. Next up is Annie. Oh, and by the way, I want to remind you, Annie VHS tape I got for free on Australian VHS bundle. I don't really care about this tape, but I mean, hey, why not? I got this tape for free, so might as well take advantage of it. Next up, Young Guns. Oh, and by the way, I'm pretty much going over this VHS collection update in no particular order, so keep that in mind. This is Young Guns from Vestron Home International Video National. This is Young Guns from Vestron Video National. This was released in 1989. Here's VHS labels. Oh, it's great to hear, Joshua Cook. You have the 1988 Vestron video release of Young Guns. Okay, I believe that's the USA copy you have. Great to hear. All right, this is The Importance of Being Earnest from Miramax Home Entertainment, obviously from Buena Vista Home Entertainment. Rated G. I believe this was released in 2003. Here we have Gone Fishing. It is considered one of the biggest box office bombs from 1997 or 96. It was supposed to be released from the World Pictures label, but because the movie, according to critics, was so bad, they had to release it under the Hollywood Pictures home video label instead. And you know what? Maybe I might watch this movie someday. Here's a label. This was released in 1997. And then we have Dead Trouble, released by Premier Home Entertainment, and of course from New World Pictures. Dead Trouble. If they could just stand each other, no one else would stand a chance. Oh, and by the way, this is a TV movie. Joshua Cook, when you say you're hoping to get more Roadshow VHS tapes or DVD at some point, do you meant small boxes or big boxes? Big boxes are basically the X rentals, and the small boxes are retails. What do you mean by that? I'm hoping to watch Dead Trouble at some point, probably next month. So I think this might be a fun movie, Dead Trouble. All right. Next up, the Brat Patrol, the German VHS release from Disney Premier Cinema. It's rated 12. And it was released in 1987. Although I'm actually very sadly, that this VHS cover is sadly, how should I put it? The cover has sadly been water damaged. So you can see the streaks coming out of the cover, so that's really unfortunate. But still, the VHS case is actually perfectly fine, though. So here's the VHS label. Brat Patrol was released in 1987. Yeah, I think so. K Cantwell. Yes, I think so. Secret Boy Gen. Oh, what do you say? Secret Boy Gen. Oh, you say fancy that how the roadshow releases didn't include any more Disney trailers after 992. No. I'm referring to Disney TV movie trailers. What I mean by that is A Nick of Time, Sky High, Spies, Earth's Green Story, and so on and so forth. In terms of theatrical movie releases, they do include them, of course, including Oscar, The Newsboys, Homeward Bound, Incredible Journey, Champions. Like these movie trailers, they do include them. But in terms of TV movie trailers, like say Bejeweled, A Month for Christmas, Parent Trap 4 Hawaiian Honeymoon, and so on. Yeah, after 992, they no longer include them, which is bizarre because I don't know why I did not include them, but that's Disney and Roadshow. I have no idea what's going on then. Anyways, next up is This Is Your Life, Donald Duck, Australian VHS release for Walt Disney Video Cartoon Classics. This was released in 1987, probably around September 1987 or August 1987. This is a rare program that only released on VHS, on DVD, Blu-ray, or on streaming. It's extremely rare to find. It never released in the United States. It only released in international countries, including UK, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and so on and so forth. Sadly, the end label has seen better days, unfortunately. But I'm very grateful that this label is pretty much keeping it together. Here's a VHS label. To be very, very careful to not ruin the VHS label. Very careful. Okay. All right. Next up is Disney's Army Days. For AG, of course. Or, as it's known in the United States, An Officer and a Duck. But in international countries, it's called Disney Army Days. And of course, also, I assume that international countries also called An Officer and a Duck. But only Australia is called Disney Army Days. Here's the VHS labels. All right. Well, good luck to you, Josh. I hope you tend to find those Roadshow VHS tapes, whether it's rental. Retail, you can literally find them everywhere online. It's actually very easy to find retail VHS tapes from Roadshow. It's very easy to find. But in terms of rentals, yeah, good luck. I wish the very best of luck in finding those rental Roadshow VHS tapes, especially in the 1980s. Those are really difficult to find. Oh, that's great to hear, Joshua Cook. You have 1985 Walton Video Cartoon Classics Gold Edition of An Officer and a Duck. That's great to hear. All right, this is American Anthem, released by Roadshow Home Video on VHS. It was released in early 1987, I believe in March 1987 or February 1987. Now, that's really interesting how it says Roadshow presents Lormar Home Video. Instead of saying Roadshow Home Video and on a side label compared to, most other Roadshow VHS tapes, this one's really interesting. It says Roadshow presents Lormar Home Video. That's very interesting. But I did check the opening, and it's exactly the same as every other Roadshow rental VHS tape. Shows the warring screen, the Roadshow and Video logo, sneak previous variant, and then the trailers, and you get the idea. However, what's interesting about this VHS is that this is a pull for VHS. So in this case, you might think, oh, this is the front VHS cover, but actually it's this one. So there's two actually. So it's pretty much a pull through, a VHS cover. Okay. Here's the VHS itself. Okay. All right. Next up, before I continue, hold on. I hope. Please wait for 1 second. I'm busy right now, Melinda. I'm busy. Can you please not interrupt me? Thank you. Thanks so much. Already 8, so can you please come to our time? Thank you so much. I don't know, like 4 hours? Not sure. I'm not sure. Can you please wait? Don't bother me, okay? Thank you so much. Sorry for this. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yes. Next up is Not Quite Human, VHS from Walt Disney Home Video, released in Australia. Actually, it's not for 1987. It's actually released in 1988. Oh, by the way, this is not the VHS cover that was used for Not Quite Human. I believe that this is a replacement case. So. Okay. Here is the VHS labels. If you have any more questions at this point in time, leave them in the comments below. Just ask me a question or anything during this live stream, okay? I'll be happy to answer them for you. Next up is A Free Man and a Baby. Now, there's another one that I also received, which is, of course, this tape. Now, what's funny about this is that I was not supposed to receive this VHS. I actually got this by mistake. What I'm actually supposed to receive is this tape. So apparently, that seller made a mistake. So he pretty much sent me this tape later on. So in this case, you can think of getting this tape for free. I'm very grateful that I pretty much got this tape for free because it's a VCL tape. So this is my first German VCL tape that I received. It was released in 1987. So yeah, I was not supposed to receive this VHS because apparently the seller made a mistake. But hey, I just got this tape for free, so I cannot complain. After I complained to the seller about receiving this VHS tape, he pretty much sent me the real tape, which is this tape that I'm supposed to get. This is A Free Man and a Baby from Touchstone Video, German VHS release. This was released in mid-1988. Or maybe mid-late 1988. Not sure when it was released, but it was released in 1988. Grade 6. Here's the tape. And don't worry, I don't believe it has mold, so I believe it's thumbs up for me. Okay. Next up, Starring Goofy, Australian VHS release, released in, I assume it is 1991 or early 1992. I'm not sure, but I believe it was released in 1991. Oh, and by the way, there's also other free volumes in this series. They're starring Goofy, starring Mickey, and starring Donald. So in this case, this is one of them that I received. And fortunately, sadly, I am pretty much sorry, sad to say, that this label is unfortunately ripped. So all I have is this one. What a shame, but oh well. And by the way, in case you can't tell, this is a sell-through tape, aka retail tape. Okay. Next up is Jacob Tutu Meets the Hooded Fang. Rated G from Premier Entertainment and from Best Drawn Pictures. But you know what's funny about this tape? This was never released on Blu-ray, DVD, or on streaming. It only released on VHS. In USA, it was actually released on VHS only one time. I believe in 1985, released by the Children's Video Library. I believe it's a Vestron label. That's why I can tell there's Vestron pictures right there. But this was released in, I'm not kidding you, in late 1991. So I don't know what happened that made this actually get a release in late 91. I thought it was going to be pretty much either released in 1988, 1989, something like that. But 1991? Oh, Jesus, that's very late for this movie. But I digress. I'm very grateful I managed to get this tape. But I gotta say to you right now, this tape contains the exact same trailers and the exact same logo variants, the exact same reels. Not that it's the same, of course, in terms of the layout, but in terms of course, the contents. It's exactly the same as Decoration Day. Here's the VHS label. And also, I gotta say, this clamshell cover is, this clamshell case is pretty much in great condition. So I'm very grateful to have this. And by the way, this on any roadshow tape of this VHS. If there was, then let me know. Next up is Midnight Madness. Ray G, and it's an Australian VHS tape. And I know what you're probably thinking. Hold on, was this released by Buena Vista Home Video? You would be correct, except this is in Australia. So, do you know where this company released this tape? This was released by Walt Disney Home Video. I'm not joking. It was released by Walt Disney Video. See right there? Walt Disney Home Video. This was released in September 1986. Or August 1986. I'm hoping to watch Midnight Madness pretty much sometime soon, because I hear that's a really, really great comedy movie. So I'm going to watch it sometime soon. It's going to be a lot of fun for me. Next up is Double Switch, released in 1987 from Australia by Walden Video. Again, this is another movie that was released under the Disney Premier Cinema line. But in Australia, it was actually released by Walden Video. Other countries, it was released by Disney Premier Cinema. And don't worry, Double Switch also released on DVD. Here's the labels. I'm surprised it actually contains a Blockbuster sticker, so. Now, unfortunately, this copy contains, sadly, white lines appearing on screen, which sadly means that this tape is pretty much played a lot. So, sorry to say, but it's a little bit worn out. But out of all the copies they have for Double Switch, this is the best copy so far. Next up is Danny, the Champion of the World, released by Fox Video. Not CBS Fox Video. I'm really quite... I don't know why it exists there, but it was actually released by Fox Video. Rated G. It stars Jeremy Irons, and is obviously based on the Roald Dahl's book. And by the way, just watch the movie. It's a pretty fun movie. I'm not going to lie. It's actually a pretty good movie. You should watch it whenever you had a chance. Now, the best part about this is that this movie was released on DVD in the UK by Warner Home Video, I believe in late 2000s. And by the way, this is an X-rental tape. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, but this tape does not contain any previews. It opens with the warning screen, then the Fox Video logo with the that theme, and then the Rated G ring screen, and then the piracy bumper, and then the movie begins. What a shame. But still, I'm very grateful to have this because, unfortunately, the copy that's found on YouTube, well, it's sadly not in great quality, so I'm probably going to digitize this full sometime soon. Oh, and then we have this tape, Bat 21, M15 Plus, from Roadshow and Video, Fission. This was released in 1989. Stars Gene Hackman and Danny Glover. Next up is the Cartoon Classics Walt Disney Video Mini. Now, let me tell you straight up, this is very important here. I got this tape for extremely cheap, along with so many VHS tapes from the bundle. So in this case, the reason why I got this was because I wanted to add just to pretty much save me some costs. It was very cheap, by the way. Probably like $3 per tape. That's a pretty good deal. And by the way, there is many other Cartoon Classic gold editions in this series. There's, of course, Mickey, Donald, Pluto, Daisy, Minnie, and then we have the Silly Symphonies. And I believe the what was it called? The music ones? I'm not sure what it's called. Late 50s. Here's a label. As can tell, compared to the other labels, this is a gold label. And if you can't tell, this, of course, another retail release from Australia. I believe it was released in 1985 or 96. You tell me in the comments, tell me if it's released in 1986 or 1985. Next up, the Lizzie McGuire movie, the X-Rental big box tape. I believe it was released in early 2004. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, of course, I bought this tape because, again, it was pretty much very cheap. It's like $5. And also, on YouTube, no one uploaded the VHS opening of it from Australia. So that should be very exciting to see. Now, fun fact about this VHS tape of the Australian big box Disney VHS release of the Lizzie McGuire movie. This is the third final G-rated X-Rental Australian VHS tape. The third final G-rated. So we're excited about this. The second final one was the Young Black Stallion. And I believe the final Australian big box X-Rental G-rated VHS release from Walt Disney Entertainment was, of course, The Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement. All right, so correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'll be happy to research if possible. And then we got 2 VHS tapes for free on a... Sorry. So I got 2 of these VHS tapes for free on a VHS bundle. I'm very grateful to get these. First up is Play It to the Bone by Roadshow Entertainment. That was released in 2001, early 2001. But before I continue, I need to get something. I'll be right back. I'm busy right now. Don't bother me, okay? Thank you. All right, so where was I? Oh, yes. Next up is Play It to the Bone. I got this tape for free on a VHS bundle. I'm very grateful to receive this on a bundle. I mean, it's for free. I mean, why not? I don't really care about this tape, but I bought it because, well, it's for free. You can't ignore a free tape, so. But do you know what's really interesting about this VHS tape? What's interesting is that this VHS tape was released by Touchstone Home Entertainment in USA. Okay, so why should I really care about it? Because in the UK, it does not show Touchstone Pictures. Okay, perfectly fine. But in this specific Australian Roadshow tape, even though it's not show the Touchstone logo, obviously, in the beginning, at the end, for some bizarre reason, it contains the Touchstone Pictures logo. My mind blew when I actually knew about this. So here's the VHS labels. See, I'm very grateful to have this because, well, in USA it was released by Touchstone Home Entertainment, but in Australia it was released by Roadshow instead. So, it's great to see. Although in the back you don't see any Touchstone anywhere in the back, so still. Although I see the whole Hollywood records. So, still. Right. Next up, here's next free tape that I received along with Play It to the Bone on a VHS bundle. Ride with the Devil from Roadshow Entertainment. This was also released in early 2001, but it was released before Play It to the Bone. This movie was released by Universal Pictures. Unfortunately, this tape sadly is not containing VHS labels. I believe it's probably ripped. That's why I saw the white, here. But, do you know what the best part about this is? Because the VHS labels don't exist here, we can now see the print date. So, let's look closely at the date, shall we? So, Rival Devil, A0450. Here's the release date. Oh, sorry, print day meant. January 3rd, 2001. Or is it March 1st, 2001? 404. So that's great to see. Even though there's no labels, at least you get to see the print date of this VHS. Next up is Platoon Leader. The reason why I got this tape was because I thought this was a New Zealand VHS tape. I mean, it shows the PG New Zealand sticker right here. It's released by RCA Columbia Pictures, Hoyt's Video. It was released in 1989. But unfortunately, my disappointment increased when I saw, unfortunately, that I do not see the New Zealand sticker anywhere on this tape. So I believe that it was probably put on because they want to fade in the M15 Plus rating. So that's actually quite disappointing. But still, maybe it might be New Zealand. Or it might be Australia. Who knows? So I'm about to find out later. Next up is the Free Amigos. I mean, what's not to love about the Free Amigos? Stars free, funny actors Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Martin Short. It's an Australian VHS tape released by RCA Columbia Pictures, Hoyt's Video. Of course, the Orient Pictures release. Rated PG. This was released in 1987. People say it's a funny movie. I didn't watch it yet, but I'm pretty much going to watch it soon. It might tickle my funny bones. Next up is The Princess and the Cobbler. This is a big box rental VHS tape, not a retail VHS tape. Keep that in mind. Now, in the United States, it was released by Miramax Home Entertainment, basically a Disney label. However, in Australia, it was released by Columbia TriStar Hoyt's Home Video in 1994. And by the way, when I say 1994, I meant late 1994. I checked the print date. Here's VHS labels. I'm very excited to pretty much digitize the Prince of the Cobbler also doing VHS release because I want to know what contents included in this VHS opening. Okay. And now we're down to the final 3 rows. After that, we're done with the April VHS Collection update video. Okay? So, let's begin, shall we? Okay. So, let's start with this tape right here. The Sleeping Beauty, retail, 1989 VHS tape. I said retail, so it's from 1989, 1980. So, Walls and Video Collection. But sadly, I don't actually want to record this tape because of one small problem. And you'll see what I mean in a second. Here's a label. So what is the problem that maybe don't want to record, of course? Now, you probably don't see anything in this bottom right here. However, unfortunately, this tape has gum, or as I call it, sticky cobwebs under that tape. I was very, very angry because that unfortunately meant that it's going to cause a problem with this tape. And also, alongside that, there's also mold on tape as well. So not only is there cobwebs, or as I call it, the gum, that's literally sticky onto that tape, but there's also mold in it. So I'm sorry, but I don't want to ever want to record this because I don't want to pretty much damage my VHS player with this. It's ridiculous it has this, unfortunately. So, what a shame. If I've seen our copy, okay, maybe I'll get it sometime soon. But, I mean, hey, I got it for very cheap. It's like €3 or €4, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Next up is Baby Secret Lost Legend German VHS tape. Released in early 1986. From Touchstone Home Video. Although, that's a really unique Touchstone logo, if I say so myself. Because obviously you see here, Touchstone Video logo, it's pretty much common. You typically see that, obviously. But in the label here, wow, that's actually very unique. I've never seen that before here. Rated 12. Touchstone Home Video, Vitrib, Walt Disney Productions. 1985. But of course, the VHS released early 1986. Here's a tape. Now, would you believe me if I said to you that this tape right here, the Baby Secret Lost Legend, contains not Touchstone Video logo, but Walt Disney Home Video logo. I don't think you would believe me. But when I digitize this VHS tape soon and upload it to my channel, you'll be surprised. Very surprised. Next up is the German VHS tape of Mit mir nicht from Walt Disney Video Cartoon Classics. Now, I'm going to give you a background on this particular VHS tape, along with many other VHS tapes in this bundle. Okay, so there was an auction, and it showcased 16 VHS tapes, along with, of course, some rare tapes here. And the auction got a lot of watchers, because, of course, there's a specific tape that a lot of people are interested in, of course, another one that's really hard to find. Basically, the white clamshell cases. But anyways, it was a very intense auction. So in this case, I managed to win. I'm very grateful for that. But I had to sadly pay a very high price on that bundle because sadly, you guessed it, there's a lot of bidders who have a lot of money and they really want those hard to find tapes. So, and this one is sadly one of those 16 tapes. So this is Cartoon Bonanza Free, Mit mir nicht from Walt Disney Video Cartoon Classics. The white rating label. Here's the VHS label. Next up is Walt Disney's Music Hit Parade. Do you know what's funny about this tape? What's funny about this tape is that I see it on eBay very often, not never, but I see it as an uncommon tape. It's literally cheap. You can literally get it for really cheap on eBay. But yes, this tape is part of that 16 VHS bundle, the German VHS bundle. But what's interesting about this Pacific VHS what's interesting about this tape right here is that this specific tape is this. This is a label I've pretty much rarely ever seen that sells on eBay. A lot of people pretty much pay a lot of money for that label because this is basically the original VHS version with that label. Because on eBay, I see this VHS with, of course, you know, the usual white label, the JMA label. But here, that is pretty much the original. But sadly, because it has this label, that unfortunately means it is in mono audio, unfortunately. So it has the preset audio quality, sadly. So yeah, because it has this label, that means that this tape is actually more rare. And I'm very grateful for it. Next up is Bum Bum Boomerang. That's, of course, part of that 16 VHS bundle that I just won. It's another German VHS Disney tape. And I know what you're probably thinking. Hold on. Didn't I record this VHS tape earlier? Yes, I just did that. It was Cartoon Bonanza 2, the German VHS tape. Let's go over this real quick because I don't really care right now about this because I already got this tape already anyways. Let's move on quick. Next up is the Sword and the Stone, the 1986 November German VHS tape. Again, it's part of that German 16 VHS bundle that I just won. And again, just like with, of course, the Bum Bum Boomerang, I already got this tape already. And fortunately, this tape has, how should I put it? Do you see all these ridges? That fortunately means it's going to have a humongous tracking issue. So I'm not going to risk it. But hey, I'm still very grateful. But also, what's interesting about this VHS tape is that this also comes with this booklet. But judging by the booklet, you see this is the main attraction, which meant that this booklet was from 1993. And that is all of that booklet. Again, I have no use for that Sword in the Stone VHS tape because I already have the tape anyway, so. Next up is this tape. Again, it's part of that 16 VHS bundle that I just won. This is the More Silly Symphonies VHS. Here's a label. And that is, of course, the More Silly Symphonies. Now, keep in mind, I already have this tape already. But, I mean, hey, why not? I got an extra copy, so. Next up is Melody Time. 1987 VHS release, I believe, was for March 1987. It's part of that 16 VHS bundle. It's rated 6. Here's a label. And by the way, I already have this tape. in my collection. So, I mean, hey, why not? It's extra copy, so. Next up is Robin Hood from 1985. This also, again, it's part of the German VHS bundle that I just won. It's rated 6. But do you know what's funny about this VHS tape in specifically? Do you see this label right here? Well, unfortunately, this is sadly a 1988 retail VHS tape. Not the pre-cert VHS, no. It's the retail VHS. So unfortunately, even though I got this VHS cover, which is great to see, it's the pre-cert VHS cover, sadly, it was swapped. So sadly, I still have to find that pre-cert VHS tape. But hey, I'm very grateful I got it because according to eBay listings, it's priced at around 12 to 20 euros per tape. So I should be okay. But still, I want the pre-cert VHS. This is not the pre-cert VHS, the retail VHS. But still, I'm perfectly fine with it, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But why I am angry is this tape right here. This is the Dumbo 1985 VHS. Again, it's part of that VHS 16 VHS bundle that I just won, along with Robin Hood. It is a very unique VHS cover. I'm going to tell you right straight up. This is a very, very unique VHS cover. Very rare to find. You'll pretty much rarely find these in the wild. It's very difficult to find. But do you know why I said I'm very angry about this VHS in particular? It's because when you open the VHS cover, it shows this. If you see this label, that means it was released in the 1990s. Because remember, the Buena Vista Home Video label in Germany was created in mid-1990 and above. And sadly, this tape was released in 1990. So that unfortunately means this is not the 1985 or 1986 VHS release of Dumbo. So, yeah, unfortunately, this has been just a case swap. So, it really is a shame. But still, I'm very grateful I managed to at least get the cover at least, because if I get the pre-cert Dumbo VHS tape, whichever cover is great, I'm going to pretty much keep that one and, throw in the garbage. But this one, I'm just going to, record the VHS opening and pretty much, well, keep it obviously until another one pops up. Now, some astutes of you saw a little bit of Song of the South, and that is going to be my next VHS. So, this is a big one. This is the main reason why a lot of people were bidding insanely high prices because of this VHS. That was the main reason why a 16 VHS bundle does from eBay Germany. The reason why it was priced so high, aka from a lot of bidders, was because of this tape right here. The Song of the South white clamshell German VHS tape. I did check. Yes, this is legitimate. This is the original release of Song of the South from Germany. I know most of you are excited about this VHS. I know I am. I know I am. I'm very grateful to have it in my collection. Absolutely. Now, this VHS was released in April 1984. But what's funny is that when I checked the VHS on the my player, at the beginning, it was actually released in late 1983. So I assumed that it was printed in late 1983, and it was released in April 1984. But do you know what's great about this tape? This contains the Neon Mickey Walt Disney Home Video logo. Exactly the same as my Carta Bonanza 3 German VHS tape from earlier. And yes, it contains exact same label as the Walt Disney's Hit Music Parade. So I'm definitely going to keep this VHS tape for a very long time because this is extremely rare. And if I want to, let's say, sell it for whatever reason, I'm going to put it for an insanely high price because, well, I need money, obviously. But still, if I want to be generous, okay, maybe. But anyways, I'm going to keep it for a very long time. I'm very grateful to have this. Another VHS tape that's also the main reason, also another reason why the VHS bundle was pretty much bid for so high, is this tape, the White Clamshell Disney's Greatest Villains VHS. It's a German VHS. Again, no, part of the German VHS bundle, 16 times. So in this case, again, it's extremely rare to find. White clamshell tapes typically usually go for more than 60, 70, 80, or maybe even probably 100 euros, depending on the title. But it's extremely sought after by a lot of people. Now, do you know what's funny about this particular VHS release? What's funny about this VHS release is that besides the white screen and the warning scroll, it's exactly the same contents as a 1985 German VHS release of the Disgraced Villains. But unlike the 1985 VHS release, which is in stereo, this one, fortunately, is in preset mono quality. This is the case it came in. As you can tell right here, it was released in February 1984. It's a rental cassette. If you know what Verle cassette means, it's basically a rental cassette. Thumb. This case is a little bit difficult to close. Okay. Right. Next up. And by the way, this is not part of the VHS bundle, but still. This is the Argentina VHS release of The Land for Time 3. The Time of the Great Giving. And so far, this is the second Argentina VHS tape I have in my collection. The first one was not an official one, sadly. It was a bootleg, a tape of DuckTales. But still, I'm very grateful to have this. Even though it's not Disney, at least I'm still very grateful at least I got an Argentina tape at least. Distributed by AVH. I believe it was released in 1996, I assume. Okay, go ahead and take out the tape. Go ahead and out. Okay. All right. Here's a tape. By the way, do you have any questions for me? I'll be always be happy to answer them if you wish. Don't be shy. Ask away. Okay. Now it's finally put in. Next up, the Raccoons Children's Club. I love the Raccoons. That's why I got this tape. But the reason I got this tape was actually because it was released. It was released by Video Collection International, aka VCI. I'm surprised that VCI actually released the Raccoons on VHS. Because, unfortunately, on eBay, I never seen this VHS pop up of within the few years of VHS collecting. It's absolutely wild. Here's the VHS itself, the video collection, the Raccoons. Rated U. Now, I don't know when it released, so I need your help, if possible, on determining what the release date of this VHS. It's a little bit difficult, but I'll put it later. Next up is Purple Rain from Warner Home Video. It's early 1980s VHS tape. It's hi-fi stereo, which is great to see. This was released in 1985 by Warner Home Video. The rating is 12. And it's a German VHS release. Here's the labels. And here is the case that came in. You can tell it right here. A Warner Home Video, Invertib der WEA Music GmbH. Moving on, we're now going to move on to Die Popcorn Schlacht. This is Cartridge Bonanza 1, German VHS. This is part of the German 16 of just part of a German VHS bundle, which of course is part of 16 tapes, which I want. And by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm basically stuttering and I'm pretty much giving pauses here and there, this is a live stream. In which case, expect these stutters and the hiccups and of course the pauses here and there because I'm trying to figure out what I'm about to say and so on. So. Here's the VHS tape. Next up is this tape, Donald und die Enten Band. I don't think it's part of the German VHS bundle, so let me check. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's not part of the bundle. And it's also not part of the Able Collection update. So, ignore that tape. It's not part of the bundle, unfortunately. And also, it's not part of the Able Collection update. So, just ignore that tape. Next up is the VHS Collection, Die Schönsten Weihnachtsgeschichten von Walt Disney, aka Mickey's Christmas Carol. It's a VHS Collection 1989 VHS tape. And by the way, it's retail, just in case you can't tell. See right there, Sampler Edition. That means it was released as part of that lineup. Here's a label. Next up is Disney's Greatest Dog Stars from Walsville Cartoon Classics. It was released in early 1987. You want to know I know this? Because of this particular indents. So Walsville Cartoon Classics, you can see that all of them are in the exact same line of the starting position. If you see that, that means it was released in late 1986, and 1987, and so on. And by the way, that program, extremely rare to find anywhere online. It's only released in international countries, never released in USA. So this is a German VHS release of that. Next up, DuckTales. Again, it's also part of the German VHS bundle, the 16 tape VHS bundle, along, of course, with Disgraced Dog Stars and Miss Christmas Carol. Now, sadly, this is unfortunately a 1990 retail tape. See right there? In Vitro der Buenavista Video GmbH. It was released, sadly, alongside with that Dumbo tape that unfortunately received. That's not the 1985, 1987, 66 for a VHS release, unfortunately. Well, okay. The last time. Next up is Alice in Wonderland. Again, this is also part of the 16 tape VHS bundle. The German VHS bundle. Now, this was released in, I believe, early 1986 or late 1985. Rated 6. Now, here's the label. Now, unfortunately, there's a problem with this tape. You see, on the VHS opening, when I tested it out, of course, during the rating scroll warning screen, during it, there is a problem with the tracking in which it pretty much glitched out on occasion, which unfortunately means that that part is sadly damaged, like heavily, which sucks. So maybe I might digitize this VHS on another VHS player, presumably this, the NVH V61. You know, just test the VHS out and to pretty much showcase you the VHS quality you'll expect when I digitize it on this VHS player. You know, just to compare and contrast whether this is actually better compared to my VHS player, whether you like it or not. And finally, this is the final tape that I received in that German 16 tape VHS bundle. Frau Weihnachten von Mickey Mouse und ihren Freunden. And by the way, that is the exact tape, that's the exact same program as this. Or is it the same program? Let me make sure. Let me make sure if it's the same program. Hold on. 30 minutes. Okay. And then we have. Oh, never mind. That's it's not the same program. I follow the same program, but it's not the same program. It's actually completely different. But It's completely mind-boggling. But anyways, both of these are different programs. But anyways, regardless, this is the Frau Weihnachten von Mickey Mouse und Ihren Freunden. I believe it's a Silly Symphonies VHS tape because when I saw the first cartoon, it's actually how should I put it? A Silly Symphonies cartoon. Santa first. So in this case, yeah. But either way, the funny thing about this tape is that this VHS is actually very cheap to get on eBay. It's literally easy to get. Nobody cares about this tape because I don't see any watchers at all on these tapes. You can literally get them for really cheap, like €3, €4, €5. Very easy to get. But they all contain the white label. But this is special because just like the Walt Disney Hit Music Parade, it contains a red label. So that meant this is more sought after and more rarer than all the tapes that I found on eBay in terms of this program. So I'm very grateful I got it. But unfortunately, because it is in that label, that means it's sadly in the preset audio quality, aka the mono track, sadly. And so far, if my memory serves correct, that's all of the German VHS tapes on that 16 tape VHS bundle. And then we have The Rescuers. The UK. Oh, sorry. Not the UK, because do you see that right there? That is the Hadil for production and distribution. AKA, this is a Saudi Arabian VHS tape of The Rescuers. I know. You're probably thinking, oh, wait, why did you get the UK tape? Nope. This is actually the Saudi Arabian VHS tape of The Rescuers. And let me tell you right now, the contents on this tape are so mind-boggling, so insane, that you want to scratch your head saying, what the hell did I just watch? So, I hope you're excited because when I upload this and digitize this tape, you will be pretty much mind-blown on what you can expect. Here's a VHS tape. And by the way, this is yellow compared to black. So I believe it was released in 1991 or something like that. All right. Do you have any questions regarding about the VHS collections I have and the VHS tapes I pretty much went over, and of course the VCRs as well? Do you have any questions? I'll be happy to answer them in the next 5 minutes. If you don't have any questions, then I can end the live stream right now. So for the next 3 minutes or 4 minutes, I'll be happy to answer questions regarding about the collection I have and any questions you have regarding about any tapes that I basically went over for you. So don't be afraid. Ask away. Ask whatever question you have in your mind. As I said, do you have any questions for the VHS collections, along with the VCRs, along with, of course, what I just mentioned to you? I'll be happy to answer any questions you want. Okay, so I guess you don't have any questions about my VHS collection. So if you have any questions regarding about my VHS collection, my VCRs, and whatever I just went over for you in my April VHS collection update, then feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and I'm happy to answer as to the best of my abilities. So that's going to conclude my live stream. I hope you all enjoyed my live stream. I'm very grateful to pretty much go over the massive VCR situation, and it's finally fixed. So I'm very grateful to finally get everything under control. So I'll see you all later. Bye.